After a completely uneventful weekend, me and Pat the designer return. No, the Chicago Bulls trade Lonzo Ball for Isaac Okoro. We'll discuss that trade. Plus, should the Chicago Bulls make a play at DeAndre Ayton, who's now an unrestricted free agent after getting bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers? And then lastly, there was an Anfernee Simons for Nikola Vučević trade rumor that popped up over the weekend. We're getting to all that and more on today's Locked On Bulls.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily Chicago Bulls podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every single day. That's Pat the designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze, and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls Central and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. I'm also the Bears content creator over on Bleacher Report. It's weird. But with that said, today's episode...
Just break news right there?
Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Pat, over the weekend, Lonzo Ball traded for Isaac Okoro. We didn't get ahead of this. We should have did a breaking news episode, but me and you both had things going on.
Yeah.
But considering that me and you both, I don't think we've gone since literally the trade deadline without bringing that up at least once an episode for almost 6 months at this point. The Bulls turned down getting the 18th overall pick for Lonzo Ball. They ended up making a trade for Isaac Okoro, who I'm not mad at the player that Isaac Okoro is. He's a defensive specialist. It is what it is there. But it to me just screams another case of missed opportunities for AK, who then turns around and trades the same player he got a better offer with a couple of months later. And it just, I don't know. But how do you feel about the deal overall? And then we could focus on the missed opportunity later. How do you feel about the deal?
Listen, I think the deal says that you're trying to replace Lonzo with two players to me, right? You're trying to do it with Josh Giddey and now Isaac Okoro, who comes in, is able to defend 1 through 4. We're going to be one of the better defenders on the team. Couple back-to-back seasons before last season where he was kind of getting underutilized. You saw the 3-ball really improving, and you saw, he shot the 3-ball well 2 years ago, 39% from the field. Shot it well last year as well, just didn't get utilized nearly as much. But a guy who is legitimately 3-and-D, can bring you the three-point shooting, can bring you the wing defense. I think the fact that you're getting back a player who does that and plays, you won. Like, you won that version of the deal. Now, again, like you said, we can have the conversation on it being the wrong time, the right move, but the wrong time. But I do think that you got back a solid piece that you can go out there and utilize to help this team moving forward.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that you got in. To me, this signifies that the Bulls want to make sure they have players that can actually play. I don't know where Okoro is going to fit in the depth chart. We can talk about that if you want to, but I think you got in a body here who defends really, really well. He is a really, really good defender. I think, and a lot of people make it, well, if he's so good, why did he fall out of the rotation? Because the Cavs literally got somebody who was better at both things that he does well in DeAndre Hunter. And that's why he fell out of the rotation.
Much better shooter.
He got somebody who was a better shooter, and he's better in their defensive scheme with more size. That's literally why they did it. But Isaac Okoro brings, I think, when you have a backcourt of Coby White and Josh Giddey, you need a defender. And you've made a lot about it. We don't have a lot of defenders on this team. Like, Lonzo is a solid defender when he's on, but you can't bet for him to be on. Now you have Io. Now you have Isaac Okoro. We'll see if Noah Essengate actually gets into it. But if you do, you got another one there. And we'll see if Modest makes a step defensively. But now you're starting to see kind of the players that you need defensively around the core that you have here. And I'm not mad at that at all.
Yeah, listen, I think the fact that you're adding pieces that, again, I actually think makes sense for the Chicago Bulls. I don't know why AK is trying to go out here and do let's find at least one piece from the 2018 draft that is going to help us in the long run. No, it was that 2020 draft that's going to help us in the long run. You've now had 4 players from that draft on your team at once. P. Will, Duarte, Jalen Smith, and now you've added Isaac Okoro. But I think what is interesting about the getting Okoro in here as an answer and getting him for Lonzo Ball. Again, listen, the talent that Lonzo is, if he's healthy, yes, it's fun, but you can't bet on it. And so the good part about it is at least you've got a consistent body that's going to be able to be out there that is going to be able to bring that defense, like you said. And I think the one thing he's also going to get is more shots here in Chicago. Like, he is either going to be the starting three or he's going to be coming off of the bench with Ayo Dosunmu for a defensive unit. But he's going to get his opportunity to take those three-point shots, and we'll see if he truly is almost a 40% three-point shooter. Because if he is, I mean, here's the truth about Isaac Okoro. There are people who are mad at it now that could absolutely be in love with this move a month into the season because of his defensive intensity and his ability to shoot the three ball.
Yeah, I think Isaac Okoro has really good 3-point percentages, but it's low volume. And I wonder here now, having Coby, having Giddey, who thrive off drives and they can create off those drives, if he's going to have more open looks. Like, if Isaac Okoro can keep relatively close to that percentage with even taking 1 or 2 3-pointers more, you got something there. You got something. That's why I say I'm not mad at the player that we got in Okoro at all. It's just, more so looking at the missed opportunities. Like, AK, if you knew you were going to move, I'm like, it hasn't even been 6 months since you declined the trade. Like, but hey, I'm not mad at the player. I do think he's somebody that can help the Bulls now in areas that they need. We just got to see how that's going to come out. Let me ask you this. Where do you see Okoro fitting in the rotation? Because, all right, he's going to play forward. I know people have brought him up. He's listed as a guard on ESPN. He has not logged a single guard minute in 3 years. So he's going to play small forward or power forward. But I see above him still maybe Kevin Huerter. Ayo's going to play a little small forward. The 2 and the 3 is going to play a little bit of. You got Modest Buzelis at the 4. You still got Julian, Dalen Terry. Well, Dalen, Isaac Okoro better be able to pass Dalen Terry in the depth chart. If he problems there. But unless Dalen makes a huge step this year, but where do you see him falling in kind of that rotation of forwards?
I think it's going to sound crazy to say, but is he not your top guy at the 3 right now? Unless you play Coby at the 3. Like, is he not the top guy that's out there next to Modest Buzelis? Because the goal is, again, like I said, you're trying to replace Lonzo Ball here. It wouldn't make sense to not have him on the floor with Josh Giddey in the starting rotation, right?
Yeah.
Like, who's going to play the 3 over him on this team? Unless you start out and say put
I can
Noah's
see
feet
Ayo or
to the
Kevin
fire.
Huerter starting above him. I can see either one of those starting above him at the 3.
I think it depends on who's shooting the 3 ball. If he's shooting the 3 ball well, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, if he increases the volume, and because Kevin Huerter is the catch and shoot guy, at least how it feels, it seems like they really want to bring Ayo off of the bench, although they may also want to trade Ayo. So we'll see if he's on this team because they're getting a lot of calls on him as well. But I would think you want to bring Ayo off of the bench just to stabilize that unit and to have somebody that you can bring in a very Alex Caruso type of role. If he can come out and he can shoot that 3 ball well at a higher clip than, just 2 or 3 a game, I really think he could be somebody you could look at as that starting 3 quickly on this team. And I think it's something you want. Listen, we don't know where Modest's defensive game is going to go. Giddey, the Bulls play fine team defense, but there's times where you need to shut somebody down on the other side. And those are the moments I think I could see Isaac Okoro being a part of the starting lineup.
Yeah, I mean, he has a path to be in the starting lineup. I mean, I think there's going to be a really competitive training camp this year for spots in the rotation and minutes. And I'm not mad at that. I think that gets you the best. You want to have people that are competing for spots, especially when you're a team like the Bulls, because that gets that nature of competition in there early. So I want to be clear. Dalen and Julian should look at this and be like, hey, he's not jumping me. They should take this and say, hey, we need to come in here and we need to be locked in. I hope that they do. Now, Isaac Okoro should be able to beat out Dalen Terry. Julian, I think, has great opportunity if he can take a step up too. But like, all these guys should take this and look at it and be like, listen, we've been here. You're not going to come and take our spot. Yeah. And I hope that you get the best out of that. So whether Okoro's starting and coming off the bench, I'm not mad at having him and Ayo coming off the bench or him and Kevin Huerter coming off the bench. I'm not mad at that. Like, at that wing rotation, the Bulls have quite a bit of depth now at the wing, and I'm not mad at any of that, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, I think it's all about the development, and I think what this trade also told me, kind of coming out of it, was we know what the Bulls' focus is right now. It is Modest. The focus of this team to me right now is make sure this young man develops, give him every opportunity. I don't want Modest guarding our number 1, the guarding the best player on there in the starting lineup. Like, Modest may want that, but like, We want to make sure that we can get him going offensively. We need a defensive stopper out here on the court that can focus on the bigger matchups, and we can kind of have situational I don't want to say flexibility. Was it a situational advantage with having Modest out there on the floor? Because I think that's what having him at the 4 does, and you don't want to be cross-guarding him with the 3.
Well, we'll see. I hope Modest takes a defensive step this year, too, because I tell you what, if Modest steps up to become – I don't need him to become a lockdown. If he can just become a functional defender in year 2, then take that step up next year in year 3 as well, that really does change a lot for this team too. So we'll see what Modest does defensively. But I agree with you. I do think that they are it's a style and a direction that they are clearly now building towards in the way that they want this roster to look.
Yeah.
I don't know how successful they'll be in it, but I'm glad that they finally have that direction that they're building towards.
Yeah, there's a lot of eggs in one basket right now.
Yeah. It's a lot of that. But we're going to continue the conversation on a player in DeAndre Ayton who was just bought out by the Trailblazers. Me and Pat, I think we're starting off on different sides of this conversation, but it should be a fun conversation to have. We're going to talk about that after a message from FanDuel. Summer sports are in full swing, and whether you're all about baseball under the lights, golf on the green, or high-stakes soccer action, by the way, watch football, y'all. FanDuel is the best way to make every game even more exciting. You're already following the action. Why not make it a little bit more thrilling with FanDuel? You can get in on the game while your friends are getting sunburned at the beach. I've been using FanDuel to track my favorite matchups, and the app keeps it fresh and new daily promotions and fun ways to bet. It's easy to use, fast to pay out, and even makes regular season games feel like much-watched events. Whether I'm placing a same-game parlay or watching a bet ride into the 9th inning, FanDuel makes it feel like I'm part of the action. New to FanDuel, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Open the FanDuel app today or visit FanDuel.com to get started. More Locked On Bulls coming up next. Did you put it in your bet? Were you putting in your bet? Were you getting your parlay in? You're muted too. Like, what's going on? What is happening over there? He's muted. Like, what was Pat over there doing?
I said, my bad. The wife called.
Oh, okay. That's hilarious. First of all, FanDuel too. Why is it that you have to make your bets or you can't go outside? You can place FanDuel while you're on the sunbathing. Nonetheless,
they did say you can't be on the beach.
It's like
they was like no bet on the beach.
Place bets. Hello, mobile internet. I could be anywhere and place my bets. With that said, Pat, DeAndre Ayton bought out last night by the Portland Trailblazers. This now puts an unexpected, unrestricted free agent on the market. Reportedly, the reason why they bought him out is that there were teams that were calling on the trade, but it was difficult to find a trade that they didn't take long-term salary back with this $32 million. They didn't want long-term salary back, so they went ahead and bought him out. They have 2 young centers now there in Klingland and oh my God, this is gonna sound like I'm like the young Chinese guy that they just drafted as well. I forgot his name that quick. Yang, is that his name? Nonetheless, so they bought out DeAndre Ayton. I'm gonna let you have this one first, Pat. How would you feel about the Bulls taking a 1-year flyer? I don't want multiple years, anything, but a 1-year flyer on DeAndre Ayton.
No. No. I've seen it. No, we're fine. We're good. Like, why do we forget who DeAndre Ayton was? We know this dude is a low IQ, low work ethic, a low effort, low defensive ability player.
You know what? I actually went and looked at his defense. He's actually been pretty solid defensively, except for the last 2 years in Portland. And I was surprised by that too. He holds centers in the paint to almost 5% lower field goal percentage, which is crazy to me because most of the time I see DeAndre Ayton, it's like maybe it's just that he's a big body and they can't get around him. Because I've never seen a DeAndre Ayton defensive play where I'm like, he was active on that play. But maybe that's just me.
Here's my thing, right? And maybe the numbers do say that he had a better defensive rating than whatever, right? I watched this man in a pivotal Game 7, where he also underperformed in Game 5 and Game 2, where the Phoenix Suns could have gone to the Western Conference Finals, I believe, for the second year in a row, get killed by Maxi Kleber and Dwight Powell.
Bro, Maxi Kleber gave him the business.
My boy. He shouldn't be having this conversation on that alone.
He gave that man the Maxi Kleber. He got paid after that. I think that series got Maxi Kleber paid.
That is my point. Like, I'm good on the whole DeAndre Ayton thing, and honestly, it's the, listen, there's a lot of ability there. There's a lot of talent there, but he is tall P. Will. It's the mindset. It's the lack of want to. It's the lack of aggressiveness. He's got the skill set to be the best, one of the best centers in the NBA, especially one of the best back to the basket guys. He's got a nice little turnaround. He's got a nice touch on his fader, right? Like he's even got a hook shot. He's got every skill set you want to see from this mug, but he doesn't have the want to go out there and be aggressive. This man was in Portland and just didn't show up to a game because he didn't want to go. And he was like, the ice is too bad. And it was like, we can shovel you out. And he was like, it's okay, don't do it. Like, what are we talking about with this?
It's okay, bro? Save yourself. That's what he
save yourself. I don't want you to get stuck. Save yourself. No, this is the same dude who he is essentially the tall Kyler Murray of the NBA.
Wasn't there like a PR person or something that was like, yeah, I live like around the corner from him. I made it to work. It was something like that. That came out of
they sent that dude to go get him. He was like, no, like I literally can see you. DeAndre was like, no, save yourself. It's okay. Like, and I get it, right? Like there are people who are ready to move on from Nikola Vučević, but just because somebody has the physical attributes that you're looking for, that you think you want in a player, remember who that player is. Like, if you think that all of a sudden playing with Josh Giddey is going to unlock him, because that was what JC said this morning too. He was like, well, I think playing with a point guard like Giddey could unlock him. He played with Chris Paul. If Chris Paul can't unlock you, nobody can unlock you.
I get well, let's be clear here though. He had his best season of his career under Chris Paul though. He had a pretty damn good season. We're during the regular season with Chris Paul. It was the postseason where it was like DeAndre Ayton was like, what happened to you? He had a pretty damn good regular season. And I think that was the only season averaging over 20 points, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mixing the seasons. So.
You're probably right on that. No, well, he's never averaged over 20 points, so you're definitely not right on that.
What was it, 19?
18. 18 is the most points he's averaged. But he actually averaged 18 in his second year. And when did Chris Paul come? 2022? 2021, 2022. He averaged 14 his third year, 17 his fourth year, 18 his fifth year, 16 and 14 again. He's not a player to me that I think you can count on. And I think that's what it comes down to me. And we got enough of them dudes on this team. I don't need to trade for one.
See, and I sit at the opposite side because as a 1-year flyer, I'm not worried about it. Like I would love to give him a chance to unlock here, like you said, because it's not even just Josh Giddey. It's also Coby White and how he creates off drives and those type of things. And I think what the Bulls would need him to do is a lot different than what he's needed to do at his other stops. They were looking for him to be a huge part of the offense. I don't think that the Bulls would even be dumb enough to do that. It's like, hey, play off our guys. Is I think what they would have him do and what they would ask him to do. But yeah. I can't deny, like, you're right. The questions, and that's why I would only be willing to 1-year flyers, because it's been a little P. Willish for you at times. It's like your highs are way higher than anything P. Will has done. But I wonder if that's because you are a priority on those Sun teams as far as getting, whereas P. Will has never been a priority offensively here for the Chicago Bulls. But I look at that. I look at the blocks. I look at the rebound percentage, right? And I'm like, I'd be willing to take a shot at it because, again, I don't think this Bulls team, I don't think they're going to be terrible, but I don't think we're going to win a crap ton of games either this year. So I'd be willing to take a flyer on a 26-year-old player to see what they can bring here. But, there's another player out there that I'd be, and he's older, but Mo Wagner, sign me up for Mo. I'd rather go Mo than DeAndre Ayton.
There's a bunch of people I'd rather go P. Will than DeAndre Ayton. At least the devil is better than the one you don't. You know what I mean? Like, What if he couldn't get there in Portland, Haize? You think he's gonna get to work in Chicago in the winter?
Bro, who the heck would get to work in Portland though? Like, I mean, let's be clear there. Like Portland is not much to do. Like, I get what you're getting at. Like I said, I'm not necessarily disagreeing with your logic here. I would be willing to take the risk at this point. So
honestly, to me, the big thing is just, is coming to this team going to increase his effort. Because that's been the biggest thing. On top of the injuries, which I think have been, I mean, listen, he don't want to be there. So I don't know how much you can take into the injuries.
That's true. And they didn't want him there. Like
they didn't want him there. He don't want to be there.
3 months, and they were like, hey, yeah, you can go ahead and clock out for him.
Bro, they thought they was going to flip him.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to be able to trade him. And then like everybody was like, nah, we good, bro. We watched Maxi Kleber F this man up for 4 games, dog. Like, no, we don't want him.
Bro, that's still like you like go and look at the highlights from that series. Maxi Kleber made that man's whole series a living hell. Bro.
And you know what it was too? It wasn't even that Maxi Kleber was killing him offensively. It was that it was messing him up that Maxi Kleber was killing him and he wasn't shooting.
Yeah.
Like he literally just turned it like Devin Booker is dead, but he's trying to play through it. I think he missed 2 games in that series. Chris Paul was 106. And just like kind of still going through some injury as well. Like it was literally like, Ayton, we need you for 1 game to be bigger than Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber. And you should be able to do this easily. Like, I ain't got it. I'm 3 for 5, though. I was efficient. That's not a player I want on my team, at least in my mind.
Well, you'll get a DeAndre Ayton. You'll be happy with a DeAndre. No, I'm just.
I'm gonna be honest with you. The second I saw it, I was like, "Oof, he's a Bull."
No, he's a Laker. He's a Laker. Like he has the same agent as Luka. He's a Laker.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a fun conversation, but I think he's a Laker. I don't think there's really any other outcome for that one. I think the Lakers. And I also think the Lakers would be willing to give him more than a 1-year deal that most of the teams would probably be willing to give him because again, it's the Lakers.
It is the Lakers. Although they say they're going to be a lot more aggressive trying to get this thing back on track. So if DeAndre Ayton is aggressive.
They didn't say the player had to be aggressive. They said they were going to be aggressive to get the player.
They was just going to be in the contract meeting like, we are very excited to trade for you.
Yeah, basically. Vince McMahon on the whole time.
Oh, God. Hey, man, we got to keep it moving along, though, because the Anfernee Simons Vučević trade rumor is very interesting. Yeah, talk about that as well.
Yeah.
More Locked On Bulls coming up right after this.
All right, Pat, you were supposed to click the one that says no ad. But
no, my bad. I got it. There you go. Yeah, you got 2 of them in there.
Yeah.
There you go, Nick.
Anyway,
take that with you.
So over the weekend, it came out that the Bulls are one of the teams that could Anfernee Simons could be rerouted to. Them and the Clippers were the 2 teams that were named. In this, it was mentioned that the Boston Celtics do have some interest in Nikola Vučević. They've had interest previously, and that could be redrummed up in having a replacement for Kristaps Porzingis. Not to say that Anfernee Simons on this team now is currently constructed would be really, really weird. I do think that it would have to be a precursor to either Ayo or Coby or somebody being moved if they're going to do something like that. But at a base, what do you feel about Vučević, Simons, and that potential trade?
The big thing for me with Anfernee Simons, like, yeah, you're getting a solid piece back, a young piece, a young player. I don't know where again, like you said, I don't know where he fits in, like if you're going to bring him off of the bench or not. At this point, my whole focus is re-sign Trey Jones. That's my whole focus on the Bulls right now. But Anfernee Simons there's a new kind of player that because they put up 20 points a game or 19 points a game, we get very excited when we see him. Anfernee Simons is a chucker. Like, that ball is in the air, and he is not
a mother chucker.
Yeah, he could be a mother chucker if we're being honest with you, because I mean, he's just not efficient. And those are players that I have a tough time really like wrapping my brain around going after, right? It reminds me very much of a Trae Young kind of stat line. I know Trae Young has had success in this league, but he's just such an inefficient shooter. And we talk about him like he's this dominant scorer night in and night out. Oh, he leads the league in this. And yeah, if I get to throw the ball up 700 times, I'm probably going to put up some good points. That's the one thing for me with Anfernee Simons that I look at. I mean, he shot 42% from the field last year. The 3-point percentages have been what is actually kind of interesting for him. But outside of that, I mean, like, can I get these 3-point percentages from somebody already on the team? I would rather see the Bulls get somebody else back or Vučević in that situation. But especially anybody that could be routed if this is a 3-team type of thing or from Boston. Like, there's a multitude of players over there I'd take on this team in a heartbeat. So I would be good on Simons, but I get why people look at him and say, you know, maybe he's something worth trying to get in here.
Yeah, like you said, I'd rather just bring Trey back. Like, not to say that Trey's the scorer that Simons is. He's not, but he's a better passer. He doesn't turn the ball over as much. And I think he's better to run your offense and get everybody involved. Simons is the type of piece that I'd be interested in if we were just like, hey, we're like this really good playoff team. We just need some more 3-point shooting. It's like, okay, let's go out and get Simons, right? Like, yeah. But at this point now, it's like we need more well-rounded players than what Simons is. Now, getting off of Vučević's contract, you know, I don't know even if Simons worth that. I mean, Simons does expire at the end of the season too, so you're not necessarily getting any more long-term money or anything like that. But if you're moving Vučević, unless you have another center that you've already signed or that's in the wings that you're acquiring, I don't get trading Vučević for a guard. I just don't understand that. That doesn't make any sense to me for where the Bulls are right now. So, you know, because this would be a move that would have to happen for another move. Like, I do think Simons and his catch and shoot ability would be really nice to see with playing with Josh Giddey, but I don't want Simons over Coby White.
Yeah, that's the thing for me. So yeah, that's the big thing for me. Yeah, I got a dude that, you know, some of the inconsistencies may be a question mark for him right now, but at least I know when he is on and when he is hot, he's incredibly efficient. Like, Coby White is incredibly efficient when he's getting the ball going in the rim well. So, like, to me, there's no world. And I think that's the thing. So, a lot of these trades we keep seeing pop up, it kind of comes down to, is it just better to keep Coby White? And because you've missed on so many different opportunities, at this point, it probably is just better to keep Coby White. Like, if I'm going Anfernee Simons or who was the boy we talked about last week who was old boy we was talking about? I can't even think of his name. That we were talking about the possibility of the Bulls bringing in. It's just like, at that point, like, Coby White is fine. It's just you don't know where it's gonna take you. I don't feel like it gets you to this next level, but neither does bringing in Anfernee Simons or any of these other pieces.
Exactly. Like, it's not that Simons is any more of a sure thing over what Coby is. He's just not. Like, he's way smaller. He's 6'2", he's barely 6'3". Like, so it'd be different if you're talking about somebody who was more consistent or brought something that Coby lacked. Like, yeah, Anfernee Simons can absolutely go off. He can be a bucket. But like you said, it takes a lot of shots to get that done. And so, I mean, there's worse trades you can have, but it's not one that I'm, like, extremely high on, so to say.
Yeah, and I think unless you have this belief that he's going to be willing to take a role change, like, I'd love Anfernee Simons off the bench.
Yeah.
Anfernee Simons next to Aldasumo would be a dream. Like, hey, I got 20 minutes for you. I need you to be a shooter. You want to chuck? I'm going to give you all 20 minutes, chuck.
Yeah, unless they're going to say, hey, you want to get paid this offseason? Bet we're going to let you put off a lot of shots off the bench. And we're probably not going to re-sign you, but we can help you get your next contract. If he's willing to accept something like that, okay, cool. But I can't trust that. He'll come into the building, knock down like 45% or 40% of his threes. 45% of his threes, you pay him. He knock down like 40% of his threes, and Bulls would be like, 90 million, 5 years, let's do it. Like, all right, hold on now. That was not the goal. That's hilarious.
We'll see what ends up happening, man. But the one thing I do like is that I guess the Bulls seem serious in these conversations. We're starting to see moves come down. We're starting to see moves be made. I would assume the Bulls probably are going to be in talks with DeAndre Ayton. I would assume that the Bulls, I mean, it seems like they're pretty heavily in trade talks for a lot of these players, but, you know, you're actually trying to do something or build something around what you perceive to be a star player. And let's hope it works out for you, man.
We'll see. We shall see. Anything left, Pat, before we get up out of here?
Man, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. Appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do.
Absolutely. You can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked on Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube, the Odyssey app, Amazon Fire TV, Roku TV, Fubo TV, basically anywhere you want us. You can get it. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning. Peace, y'all.
Peace.